Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Sorry about the late video. I know I promised it a couple days ago, but a couple things came up and just family matters, and I was just really out of it and I couldn't do anything. So I'm back here today. Today we're going to be doing the debugging of the receivers, and this is a simple debug. We're just going to be checking if the signal is working, and we're going to take a look at the signal between a FlySky receiver and an FrSky receiver. All the signals really look alike, and you'll know if it's working, it's outputting something or not. Now, before we begin, there's a couple things that's pretty important to take note of before doing this. One thing is you will not see a signal if the receiver or the transmitter is not bound with the receiver. That's one thing. And another thing, even if they are bound and the transmitter is off, you will also not see a signal. You'll see just a flat line. So take that into consideration. Now, let's get started. So what we need is two wires. We need a ground wire and we need the signal wire from the receiver. But at the same time, we also need to have power for the receiver. So how do we go about doing that? Well, it's pretty simple. What you do is, we're going to go ahead and connect it. Let's just connect this one here. So this is the FlySky, or let's do FrSky first because a lot of people are FrSky. So here it is, it's connected right now. And if we take a look back here, you know which is your ground, which is your positive, and which is your S-bus signal. So let's take a look here. So we have the S-bus is the white wire here. As you can tell, it says S-bus, so that's white wire. And the red and black down here is 5 volt and ground right there. So what you want to do is, obviously this would be soldered into your flight controller. So here's a flight controller here. They would be soldered into your flight controller. And what you want to do is you want to go ahead and just possibly solder just the ground from anywhere, just a little wire that's sticking out, so we can give it to the oscilloscope and desolder your signal, like your S-bus or your I-bus signal, from the flight controller here, and plug it into the oscilloscope. So let me show you how that's done. So for example, we just soldered a ground that's coming out of the flight controller. So where's my ground? Here it is. And what you have to do is you have to connect the alligator part of the probe to it. So that's the ground here. And the signal would go on this guy. So you'd push that in and then it'll pop out. So our S-bus signal, we said, was the white wire here. So let's just go ahead and do that together. And there we go. Now, on the flight controller, most flight controllers will boot up your receiver through USB. And hopefully you would know, obviously, because your LED turns on. If not, then you're going to have to provide power for your quadcopter. So what I'm going to do now is pretend that I connected USB and it booted. So let's go ahead and take a look at the LED. So as you can tell, the receiver has booted. So now let's go ahead and turn on our oscilloscope. Now, stock settings, right when you turn it on, it has these default settings. It'll be perfect just to see the signal. You really don't have to play much with it. So unless you really want to diagnose a little bit deeper, but we really don't need to. So as you can tell, it's booted and we have no signal. So some of you might get scared, but don't get scared. That's totally fine. So right now I'm going to go ahead and boot up the transmitter. And there we go. I think it's booted. Yeah, it's booted. There we go. So now we got a signal. That's a perfect S-bus signal. That's an absolute perfect S-bus signal. So there's really nothing to it. It's just really that simple. So now we have a signal. So we know it's working. And for some reason, why is it not working in Betaflight? It's probably just you put the wrong settings, or you probably soldered it on if you're using an F4 flight controller, you probably soldered it on a non-inverted port, which is like something for iBus, because this is an inverted S-bus signal. So make sure you find the S-bus signal on your flight controller and enable the correct RX port in your ports tab in Betaflight. And I do have a video on that. So that's one thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at iBus now. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this guy. And iBus is also the same thing. You will not see anything at all until you go ahead and boot your transmitter, and or you must have it also bound. So that's very important as well. So here we go. Now this one won't have an LED status notification, because if you do like me and then you make these holes bigger and put it on a stack, once you start screwing in the nylon standoffs, you'll pop off that LED, and I've done it on every single one of these. So I don't know if it's booted, I don't know if anything. So this is where it becomes very useful actually. So right now I know it's booted for sure, I know it's working, but as you can tell, we still don't have signal. Why? Well, one thing is we still have not set up the signal wire, and it's the same thing with the ground on the alligator clip, and this is the signal for this guy. It's the yellow wire. There we go, and we can see that the voltage went up, so it's on, but with the FrSky it won't go up, it'll be down because it's inverted. So let's go ahead and check this out. Now the transmitter is off, and that's why we're not getting a signal. So I'm going to go ahead and boot up the transmitter, and it's just so quick. It's a lot faster than FrSky. And there we go. We got our signal. This is an uninverted I-bus signal. The other one was an inverted S-bus signal. And I-bus is the later protocol. It's the newest protocol. So there we go. We have everything working, and you can go ahead and start playing with the time base, and you can do all kinds of crazy things. You can see the channels. So, and if you ever wanted your device to go faster, what you'd have to go is you would go to X windows down there, and you can drop down the depth to like 1 kilometer, and then just becomes a lot faster. And what it does is it lowers the resolution, so you can pick up something a lot quicker if you needed to. But it has its limitations. I mean, but it's overall it's absolutely phenomenal. It'll do the job just fine. So now we know our I-bus is working absolutely perfect. And if you take a look, it's very difficult to show you on camera, but if I'm moving the throttle, you can actually see these are the channels in there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can actually see, if channel 2 is the throttle, when you're moving the throttle, you actually see it getting bigger and smaller. If you zoom in a little bit more, and you just stabilize the signal here. But we really don't need to get into that. It's working just fine. So overall, it's just very simple to test. Now, something very important, what I'm planning on doing is I will be grabbing a receiver, one from FlySky and one from FrSky. Probably two from FrSky, probably this X4R, I think this is the X4R, and XM Plus, and I will be connecting them with reverse polarity, and then start debugging what is most likely to be burnt, so you have an idea of what happened to it and how we can go about fixing it, and where can we find the parts to fix it, or how can we make a little hack or a mod to fix it. So I think that'll be pretty interesting, because I'm pretty sure that's a really big issue, or just a common problem with a lot of people would be connecting the reverse polarity of receivers. So I think that's a really nice stepping stone, since I don't have anything that's really broken. So I'll just start basically putting things in reverse polarity, break it, and then see how we can go about fixing it. And I'm pretty sure the process that you see of going about testing the things of what's broken and what's not, you could also learn a lot, and you can apply it to other things. It's the same way I would learn something. I would take someone, look at someone, see the process of how he went about finding the issue, and then just do the same thing but apply it on something else, and then hopefully find the problem. And if not, you can ask. This is an absolutely beautiful community. And what I'm also planning on doing, I just don't have the time yet. I've mentioned this before. I really want to start a forum, like just a dedicated forum for everything. So I think that'll be pretty good, but it just needs a lot of time, and I don't have that much time. Maybe next month I'll have that time. But I'm planning on doing that. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of that. And well, that's it, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's a very short video, very simple, very basic. There's really nothing we could really do. I just this will go into more depth once we burn them. We put the reverse polarity, and checking how well they're gonna do, or how we're gonna go ahead and fix it, and seeing what else burned, and all these kinds of crazy cool things. Well, that's it, guys. So I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you guys do like this content, please consider joining my Patreon. $1 or $2 a month will go an absolute long way, and you can also use affiliate links down below. Those greatly support the channel. And if you guys have any questions or any suggestions, feel free to let me know, and I will see you next time. See you guys. Take care.